Right, hello everyone to the second episode of Carcraft. My name is Igor,
Hello, my name is Adrian.
and today our topic for this beautiful podcast will be engine swaps and engine rebuilds. Yes, exactly. The most pumping fucking topic I think we will have on here. It's the most exciting.
This is what gets your local and your most average car enthusiast bricked and blood flow right down to your downstairs. I feel like the engine is one of the most crucials when it comes
Yes,
to car enthusiasts and out enthusiasts.
yes,
So let's begin with what is an engine swap?
exactly.
Alright, so an engine swap is like giving your car a whole new heart, like a brand new heart. It basically the process goes like this. You take out the original car engine that was already in your car and you replace it with a different one. Some people put the same one. It's usually just for if your previous engine was bad and needs a new one. There's a lot of people just put the same engine in. A lot of people just put different engines to get more powerful and make them more so the engine's more powerful engines, more efficient, and just so it suits your needs better.
Shall we move on to the engine rebuild part?
Yes.
Right, I'll take that one away. So what an engine rebuild is essentially you take out the existing engine in the car you have, you strip it apart, fix any broken parts, just do basic maintenance on the engine, relubricate some areas, put new gaskets in, new seals, all that, make sure to check for damage and all that. If something is damaged, you replace it. If something's fixable, you fix it. Bore new cylinder sleeves if they are too scored, so too worn.
A lot of people
And
also like to just instead of just putting if the part is damaged, they put the new one. A lot of people just put aftermarket parts. Aftermarket is
yes,
basically
it's it's a non-original part that is in some way, shape, or form better than the original.
yes, and can withstand more. Probably
Yes,
do last longer as well.
exactly. So after all that, they put the engine back together, move on with their day, try it out.
Now let's go to main requirement that an engine needs to run. Okay, to understand both swaps and rebuilds, it's also crucial to know uh, for the engine to run, you're going to need air, fuel, and spark. These are the three main ones. These three elements need to work in a harmony.
Yes, together.
Yes, exactly. The engine pulls in air, mixes with fuel, and uses a spark, also known as spark plugs, to ignite the mixture. So it's creating a combustion needed to divine the piston and I'm sorry. Creating a combustion needed to drive the piston and ultimately the car itself. Alright, let's talk about the crucial. Do you want to take this one or do you want me to like? Yes.
Crucial engine parts? Yeah,
Okay.
we can go hand in hand.
Let
I
me.
take one, you take one.
Let's do this. I talk about the crucial engine parts. You talk about them. Okay. Sounds good. Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. During a rebuild, you might encounter several key parts, and these are pistons, crankshafts, camshaft, valves, timing belt or chain, and spark plugs.
Alright. So let me explain what those do. So pistons, they move up and down in the cylinder block, driven by the explosion of the air-fuel mixture. Crankshaft turns the pistons up and down in a circular motion. Camshaft opens and closes the intake and exhaust valves in sync with the engine's operation. Valves control the flow of air and fuel in and out of the combustion chamber. Timing belt ensures that the camshaft and crankshaft are synced, so they work together. And spark plugs ignite the air fuel mixture within the cylinders. And rebuilding an engine often involves replacing or refurbishing these components to restore engine performance. So essentially, how the camshaft changes is some people just buy an aftermarket one, put it in, and the camshaft changes the timing of the valves opening, which gives more power, essentially.
Yeah, oh god. So, let's talk about things to think about before swapping engines and rebuilding.
Whether you are swapping or rebuilding, you need to make sure you're choosing the right components. Not all big engines can fit in every vehicle. You need to ensure that your vehicle and engine are compatible before you do that.
I mean,
And not,
I mean,
yes,
some people go beyond that limit and say, well, let's just change the entire subframe, huh? So
yeah, you
you,
can do that. I'm not saying it's not impossible, it's just way harder
yeah, of
to do.
course, that's in a later episode when we talk about what people
Yes,
have done with cars and these ideas.
yes. So you need to consider size, compatibility, and the condition, which I'd say is the most important one. You also want to think about other factors like the cost balance and power output. Something might need like upgrades, like I don't know, the suspension, brakes, fuel system. So that those are just some things to consider when rebuilding or swapping an engine.
The
Thank you.
first steps to swapping or to begin a rebuild, you would like the initial steps are the initial steps are pretty similar for both processes. Planning, obviously, you're gonna need the right tools for it. For example, you want a crane, not those ones that build houses, the ones that smaller ones, preferably ones that are made to pull out engines. I'm gonna fist myself in the urethra. Safety is a paramount, whether you're lifting an old engine or taking one apart for rebuild. So it's pretty
Yes.
simple. You just need to have right tools, even a garage. I mean, you could do this in your driveway, but I mean, I don't suggest it unless you're a
Mm,
maniac.
yeah, a place to do it is very crucial.
I mean, you could also, when it comes to like the cranes, you could hire one of those Africans. I've seen a video somewhere, some African dude just pulled out an engine with his bare hands. And I was just like,
Yeah.
see, you could do that, but if you're going for safety and all that, you
Yeah,
would
we
need a,
don't recommend that.
no, you would need a crane for that one.
And the next on the agenda is how complicated is an engine swap or rebuild. So both processes require mechanical skill, of course, patience, and good understanding of your car's mechanics. Swaps involve ensuring new engine fits and interfaces with your car's systems, while rebuilds require precise inspection and replacement of worn parts.
It's essentially not complicated. Just take engine out, take apart, remember which part went where, and reverse psychology the engine, back to back what you did. Boom, you got a brand new fixed old engine. Engine
Yeah,
swap could be a bit complicated when it comes to fuel system, all that. You're gonna need some different things, but if you're putting the same engine in that previously had, it's all just uh, plug out, plug in, if I'm saying it correctly. Just take
yeah,
it out and put it back in. It's pretty simple.
yeah. It might seem a bit overwhelming at first, but it's ultimately like building a Lego set, just with a bit more complicated instructions
Exactly.
and a lot more expensive.
Can't forget the expense, but yeah. So let's move on to making an engine better, aka like I mentioned, aftermarket market. Enhancing your engine, whether though you're swapping or rebuilding it, Can involve in upgrading your internal compounds like piston, valves, even camshafts. It's up to you. Or improving intake and exhaust system for better efficiency and power output. A lot of people like to change the air intake.
And the exhaust.
Yeah, they like to change the air intake, like, or exhaust. Intake, you can go for bigger intake, meaning your engine could suck in more air. You also have intake manifolds. Manifold is basically from the intake, it goes into your intake manifolds, it's split into your engine, separately into each cylinder. You could get a bigger intake manifold, meaning, once again, way better airflow into the engine. For engine to produce more power, you're gonna need more air. So bigger intake, more power. Same goes with exhaust. It's like a breathing system. If you exhaust, you're gonna have to breathe out. And if it's too small or if it's badly damaged, not correctly done, it's gonna breathe bad. But if you have a really good exhaust system, it's gonna be breathing way better, producing more efficiency and even power outputs. So
Yes.
that's the kind of the main things of making an engine better.
Well, after all of that upgrading and all that, the aftermarket parts and whatever else you want to put in it, you're gonna have to test the engine, which is done on a dyno, which we will cover in the next episode. Just want to briefly cover it here, just to explain the process of the engine swap. That it does include this process, but we won't cover it here.
Now, why customize a car? Customizing a car, even though it's through engine swaps or rebuilds, allows you to create a vehicle that suits your performance and your personal style. So that also we mentioned in the first episode is how a car expresses how yourself. That's exactly why.
Yes.
And and it's not just another and also each modification is just a step towards making your car uniquely yourself. So I mean, not everyone's into it, but if you are, that's the reason why we not recommend. A lot of people do. Just if they like a car, they want to make it better. They want to make it suit their personal how do I say it? Their personal way of expressing themselves on the car, or just like how essentially just you like car, you take car. You don't want like this. Alright, I change this to this thing. Yes, I like this better. Perfect. I like car. I have to
Ate,
split it.
can
I'm
I explain
sorry.
this?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm getting brain rot right now.
Essentially, people have a car that they like, and they get a mental vision of it, of what it could be, and they want to make it a reality. That's basically what I I have had happened. I feel like they have the same, and many others have as well. What do you think about that explanation?
That's way better. I was having brain rot. I could not explain a word, so I went into monkey cave mode and tried to explain it like that, and it still didn't go well.
Yeah, well, that I'm here. Don't worry about it.
Thank you very much. Well,
I
I think that it's gonna end for this episode on talking about engine rebuilds and swaps and the crucial
yes,
things about how an engine works. Um, and in the next episode, if I believe we'll be talking about tuning.
yes,
So
which we
how?
did mention.
Yeah. So exactly. Basically, I
We're
won't give.
gonna explain the other side of the engine rebuild, what to do when you're done with it, essentially.
So essentially, your engine. Let's say your engine is a heart. Um, Tuning it, aka the computers, aka an ECU, is gonna be your brain. Now we're going to talk. Next episode, we'll be talking about the brain of the car, how
Yes.
everything works, how everything smartens, and how technology.
Are
Yes.
you okay?
No. Having a mental stroke. But yeah, I think that's a wrap up for this episode. So thanks
Yes.
again for listening to this amazing show, Carcrafts, and we will catch you guys in the next episode.
Yes. Adios. Thanks for watching.
Adios.